Introducing new Moth Be Gone. Welcome back to WETT The Splash, the home of all your naughty little secrets.
We are live from the scene of the accident, and the death toll has climbed to a staggering rate.
Welcome back. Episode 206. For some reason, we're still here.
Yep.
You guys, you always think that it's not going to happen again, and yet somehow every week we reappear.
It's consistent, if anything. You know? Today, this one in particular will be a little bit late, just because we had a crunk ass weekend.
Yeah, by minutes. But let's start with this ad real quick.
Okay.
Black Tie CBD, 10% off. Thick one. That's it. There's the ad.
I don't even know. I was going to play a sound effect, but I didn't even know what to reach for at that point.
No, that's the whole ad.
Yeah,
you know what? That's what they paid for.
There you go. You get this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great ad.
Thank you. Yeah, man, we had a crazy weekend, and we actually, it's going to be an interesting episode because, if you've been listening for a long time, we record this on Sunday mornings.
Right.
And then they come out Wednesday evenings.
Yep.
So typically there's like this little lull between the show airing. Sometimes news changes by the time the show comes out. We've had that happen plenty of time where we take like a hard stance on some shit.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later when the show comes out, it's already old news. And we were wrong.
You get the cover at all. Yeah. And we were completely off. Yeah.
It's funnier to take hard stances on things when the news isn't always there. And by the time people hear this, the real news will be out. You know what I'm saying? Like you defend a pedophile for 45 to 75 minutes of a podcast. And then, between that being said and the show releasing, he rapes 15 more kids.
Oof. Yeah.
Like, God, you know what? I said it before.
Has that happened before?
I'm sure it's happened
I
to
hope
us.
it does. I hope it hasn't happened before.
The guy's raping 15 kids?
No.
That happens a lot.
I mean us like justifying a pedophile and then he raping somebody afterwards. Is that something?
Particularly no, but we've definitely argued for some pedophiles.
I don't think so. I remember that. Well, the most recent episode, we took a good stance.
Yeah.
I think
I think that was a progressive. That was us feeling it out. That's what I really like about this show is like it's where it is funny and it's comedy. It's more just genuine and sometimes
a conversation. Yeah,
and sometimes we're just feeling shit out.
Yeah,
you got to talk your way through it. Like sometimes like my girl will think that I'm arguing with her because I'm doing that.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she'll say something and I'll be like, well, how does that work? Wait.
Yeah.
But how does this work?
Philosophical.
Well, and then I'll be like, but isn't that wrong? And then if it's this way, isn't that right? And she'll be like, are you like mad at me? I'm like, no, not at all. I'm stoned.
It's like, Jonathan, we're going to the store. There's only one direction to the store.
I asked you about.
But is there more directions?
I asked you your favorite ice cream and you spun off for 15 minutes about just the entire Turkmenistanian government.
In the concept of flavor.
Yeah, it doesn't. And you seemed aggressive while you were doing it. And I still don't know what ice cream you want.
Yeah.
That's my life.
I think mint.
Yeah.
I feel the vibes of mint.
Yeah. I do like a nice mint chip.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's me. I just trail off into random fucking thoughts, and then they spin, and then eventually Pornhub. You never know.
Okay.
Yeah. Somehow I always end up there at the end of the night. So.
Oh, you mean in general? Okay.
Yeah.
So is there like something? Is there like a transition that usually leads to Pornhub, or is it just like, all right, I'm done thinking now, Pornhub?
I think it's like Like as soon as the socks come off, it's like, all right, Pornhub.
It's like your default habit. Yeah. It's just
not
like,
wearing
cool.
pants, Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? Stomach is full.
Pornhub.
Yeah, that's my cigarette.
It's like Pavlov's.
Yeah. But fucking yeah, dude, we had a really good weekend.
Yeah, it was party time.
That was so fun. Yeah, we had your bachelor party.
Yeah.
Fucking congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
It's a beautiful thing.
Appreciate it.
We went out to the forest, which out here is like asking for death because everything is on fire.
Yeah.
At all times.
Literally, 200 miles from us, huge fucking forest.
Huge fire.
Yeah.
There was trees on the cabin property that we rented that had clearly burnt down at one point.
Yeah.
Remember we were looking at wow, all 4 of those ones got fucked somehow.
Thankfully it didn't grow.
Just matchsticks. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was fucking super fun. We had a nice hike. I blew one of my we had that whole episode about how I blew out my big toes.
Yeah, and this motherfucker went the whole. We walked around the entire lake, and that's about like what 4 miles, give or take.
It was 4 miles. Yeah.
And it's not just a nice paved road; it's up and down rocks and shit, and everything all along. And this motherfucker went all the way around the lake. But did not stop.
But the first mile,
impressive.
Yeah, with the fucked up toes. But the first mile, we didn't. Fucking everybody. All right, everybody knows the path, and nobody knows the path, right? We're all, people have been here before apparently, so we know where we're going. Turns out nobody fucking knows where they're going. So we end up off of the path.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're climbing rocks. We're just going in the direction that we think we should be going.
Yeah.
That
way towards water.
Yeah, and it led to the path again, and then for the last 3 miles we were on the path. But in that first mile, I was climbing down a rock, which we shouldn't have been doing because we weren't on the path. And I fucking just shoved my big toe right into that bitch. I put all my weight downwards into it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and it just fucking like...
Ouch. I know how that feels too.
I think what it is like because it was already hurt, you're focused on it more. You're lifting it off the ground more when you step. Like you might not even notice that you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever do that? Like when something's hurt, like if your finger's hurt, you might hold it off to the side. You might not even realize that you're doing it at that moment. Yeah. Because your subconscious is just like, take care of that.
Yeah. Your body just at some point gets used to isolating wherever that wound is.
Yeah, exactly. And like, so I think because my toe is already fucked up, it was probably like angled upwards a little bit. So when it hit that rock nice, bro. And then night, so that night we partied a little extra hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We met the Wood Elves.
Oh, yeah.
And we took some of their, what would you call it? Offerings, I guess?
Yeah.
And we took the Wood Elves.
Gifts.
Yeah.
They gave us gifts.
We took the gifts from the Wood Elves. And at one point, like I was sitting in the living room with the people who did not accept the gifts.
Yes.
There was people who did not accept the gifts.
They weren't worthy.
Yeah. They decided that they just wanted to quietly sit there while everybody who took gifts had a good time. You know what I'm saying? So here I am, just blasted off gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I'm appreciating every piece of wood in the entire cabin for every board for what it was.
Yep.
And like, just, full of gifts. And like,
so much.
I remember I looked down at my foot and I noticed that like my foot was dirty. My toe was dirty, right? But I took a shower right when we got home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shortly before encountering the Wood Elves, and after getting back from this hike, I took a shower like immediately. That was the first one because I had to poop. I had to blow it up.
Yeah. The body had to really kind of evacuate everything in the past week.
So I was like, my feet shouldn't be dirty. You know what I'm saying? So I looked down, and like I was like, I just got like this like what looks like dirt on my big toe.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to wipe it off. It's not coming off, and I'm full of gifts. I met the Wood Elves.
Yeah.
So like my brain is like, am I not doing this right? Like, am I not putting enough?
Seeing some shit?
Am I not putting enough saliva on my thumb to wipe this off? Like, how good is this dirt? And then
how stupid am I right now?
Turns out I was trying to rub off a bruise.
So made it worse, I'm sure.
Yeah,
too.
Dude, I was just fucking scraping on a bruise the whole night, just fucking tripping off fucking gifts.
Yeah, man.
Fucking woodland bastards.
Bro, and they gave me a shit ton of gifts, bro.
You had a lot of gifts.
They gave me a lot of gifts. Yeah. They're like, you're getting married, you're going to get an extra
you need more
couple gifts.
Yeah,
yeah. And I remember like pretty much most of that evening, I was so excited off those gifts that I was like passing out from the excitement, but then like reawakening with the excitement. Oh, I have gifts, that's right. And then I would see some wild shit while I'd open them, every time, dude, like I think for a solid 2 hours it was just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
And the guys couldn't stop talking about Skyrim. You get these guys gifts, and all they want to do is talk about Skyrim for 4 or 5 hours.
Though it was pretty nice.
You guys talked about Skyrim for so long. Yeah. Let me tell you about what was going on with me.
Yeah,
all right?
Because I was out too.
Because you got to remember, so there was 7 of us.
Another dimension.
There were 7 people, and only 4 people accepted the gifts.
Yes.
3 of them decided they didn't need part of it, which is fine.
Fair enough.
Right? So one of the 4, the 4 of us who accepted the gifts, everybody had a different night.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? One guy just immediately decided that the Wood Elves were too beautiful, so he grabbed his speaker and listened to Motley Crue quietly in the room by himself for like 3.5 hours. So he was gone, and at least he had a speaker. So
yeah.
I'm sure he was having fun.
I wonder what he got. I wonder what those gifts gave him. You know? I wonder what those were.
I'd love to. Yeah, I want to talk to him about that. Honestly,
yeah.
Hopefully, because we're gonna do the second bachelor party. Because you're the man.
I appreciate
I'm gonna talk to him about that because I want to know. He just was gone.
Yeah.
He literally put his speaker down behind my head, which was strange.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it was also beautiful because I was, I was starting to feel my gifts.
Yeah,
and
you were vibing.
I was just starting to, pull them open, and he all of a sudden he takes a couple footsteps down the stairs. God, I stumbled over that. That was awful.
It's okay.
So he takes a couple steps down and he goes, "I'm just gonna take this." And he grabs the speaker.
I do remember
like 3 minutes
that.
after he put like not even a song.
Yeah.
Not even
I
a full
that.
song.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, no worries, buddy." And then he's just like, "I'm sorry, guys. Like, I gotta go." And then he was just gone.
Yeah.
He was gone. That was like at 7. We didn't see him again until like 11:30.
I think he got some pretty, he's the type that when he gets his gifts,
Yeah.
he wants to kind of
likes
take
to
them
process
and go.
them
He
alone.
goes on the ride,
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
enjoys the how do I say, adventure they give you. You know,
he was just on that YouTube. I bet he was just on that YouTube playlist that he showed us. Just watching his
Maybe,
videos, watching Monty
honestly,
Python
just losing
videos.
his mind. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's gone, right? Now the other guy between the four of us, he loves Skyrim.
Yes.
He also loves all the people involved with this event.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Dearly. He looks up to them. So he's very excited to listen to somebody who did not accept gifts talk about Skyrim for probably 5 hours.
Yeah, for the evening.
For the
entire evening.
Yes. They were already talking about it on the whole hike, which was 3 hours.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, because I was with them.
I was focused on not dying.
Yeah, me too. But there was a good chunk of it where I was with them, and the whole time it was just Skyrim.
Yeah.
And then they talked about it for so long that night. They ended up coming inside to play Skyrim just to show me what it was.
Yeah.
And then I went home and I downloaded it.
Yeah, because they pitched it to you real well, didn't they?
Well, not only that, because it was my whole evening.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got one guy who's in the room, watching Monty Python videos. We got another guy who's so happy to be around and loves Skyrim so much that he's literally just taking in information from our friend Ricky, who's going to be on the show soon. Just absorbing information at mass amounts. Just opened up his third eye and just said Skyrim.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
And a s'more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then that leads us to you and me. Now, you play the game. You've played it for a long time, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Did you play it like when it first first came out?
No, I actually got it, I think, about a solid year or two after the hype. Well, I'd say a solid year after the hype was kind of already going. And by then, Skyrim was still a pretty popular game.
Okay.
I mean, it is now, but you know what I mean.
Well, I started it. It's my first playthrough ever.
Right.
Yeah. It's fun. I like it. I don't know why I never played it. It is a good game. It's
a long game.
It's the kind of game that I play, honestly. There's a lot of commitment. Yeah. But no, so you're kind of bouncing back and forth, right? You're
I was literally
in the Skyrim conversation or staring at the fire thinking about gifts.
Yeah.
Or occasionally, and this is where I come into the story, occasionally you would come with me down the steps and we would smoke the dick bong.
Yeah.
Because all I brought was a dick. Because I brought blunts, but if you didn't like blunts, you had to suck dick.
Yeah.
And eventually we ran out of blunts, so everybody was sucking dick happily.
All day.
Happily
all day.
sucking dick.
Yeah.
Chugging
Eagerly.
on it. Yeah. God damn, I've never had so much dick in my mouth. So occasionally you're coming down the steps with me and we'll smoke a couple bowls, talk about some shit, look at the trees, and then you'd go back up to Skyrim talk.
Those trees were fucky, bro.
They were beautiful. You'd go back to Skyrim talk, and then I would go inside.
Right.
And I would go inside, and the two of the 3 people that did not accept gifts, because now we have all 7 people in the story, right? So 2 of them, the last 2, the normies, they're sitting on the couch playing video games quietly.
Yes.
In fact, one's playing video games, the other one is reading a D&D book.
Yes.
So it is silent. And I decide that I need to sit between them silently as well. And
why?
I don't know. I didn't want to come in there and because I feel like as soon as we took the gifts, the people who've never take gifts, they don't know how to feel, right?
True.
They don't know how to feel. They don't
Yeah.
want to upset you. They don't know that you're not gonna apparently see dragons or something as soon as you have a bad trip.
That's true.
They think, as far as they're concerned, when you take gifts from woodland elves, you turn into like a cartoon world.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's an exaggerated form.
And
yeah.
that if you go into a bad trip, quote unquote, like it's gonna like
It's like a
the
horror
canvas
game.
turns black
Yeah.
and like there's 50-eyed versions of your friends that are half mosquito and like that just doesn't happen. Not
No.
that I've known.
No.
But
I mean, for people who have like extreme anxiety,
Yeah.
you know, and like get in their own head, you know,
that's the bad trip.
Yes,
That's
you
the
know.
quote unquote bad trip that
Right.
you're seeing is anxious people attacking themselves.
Right.
But if you've never experienced anything like that, then you don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as you're concerned, it's the opposite. It's the
Right.
scary canvas change.
Right.
So it's not that they treat you different, but they like tiptoe and they don't want to interact as much.
Yeah, it's like you're I don't know, it's like cuz I was trying to hold conversations the entire time and it
Yeah.
was going swimmingly well. Apparently better than this current conversation
Yeah,
is.
yeah, good. I'm glad you fucked up too. 'Cause at least now we've both stumbled.
But at some point though, when I went inside, that's when, because I think I had maybe gotten a solid chunk of extra gifts, but then when I like allowed myself to sit down and kind of relax a little bit, that's when the body was like, all right, fucking full takeover, you
Yeah.
know, and that's when I just started bouncing from dimension to dimension, you know,
Yeah.
like, but beforehand I was like trying to engage in conversation.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of times where like conversation was made or a sentence was said and like something about like concepts weren't being hit properly or they weren't understanding me properly. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, am I like really high or are you just saying shit like
Yeah.
completely like not correct in
There's-
this
yeah.
scenario? You know?
There's a few times I
Like-
saw you answer things like on autopilot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there were just things that I've heard you say once or twice already.
Oh, yeah.
So it was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
it just
it was,
turns on.
it was like it just cued. Like you're like, I heard that. Say this.
Like it's a jukebox.
Yeah. Say this. Now leave me alone. I'm gonna go stare at the fire.
Yeah, that is true.
Here's your answer.
The
Fuck
fire,
off.
when I got to the fire, that's when I started like, I think that's when the pull started happening.
Yeah.
You know, because something about watching fire dance when you're taking gifts from anything, you
Yeah.
know, like
Woodlands,
the many
woodland elves,
creatures,
or
animals,
those
you know?
weird metalhead elves.
yeah, dude. Something about dancing fire is not only mesmerizing, but like it. For me, it's like my trigger. You know, that's a thing that like that activates the gifts. You
Yeah.
know, like I get into a zone. Maybe it's like I don't know if it's a peaceful thing or if it's necessarily like it's making my brain think because I'm trying to process shapes. Maybe
Yeah.
you know.
No, I get that because
But-
mine's trees.
Yeah,
Like as
that
soon
makes
as,
sense.
Yeah, as soon as I
yeah.
start seeing trees, I'm like, oh yes,
Yeah, this is the one.
this is where I need to be. Like,
Ever since the first time you took gifts from
Yeah.
the fucking elves, bro.
Yeah.
The trees were like, hey, bro, I'm your boy, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, you are.
we're like, hey, we're alive too, and I was like, whoa, yes, okay, I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
You, for now on, forever, you are alive.
Yeah. The
I
trees were
accept.
wild this weekend,
They were
too.
beautiful, man.
They looked like they were, like,
Coming in on us.
that, and I feel like they were like, it almost like they were surrounding us like in a dome, like in a protective dome. Man,
Yeah.
we sound like hippies.
Yeah, because the top, like, because on the ground level with us, there's like a couple feet between each tree. I mean, we
Yeah.
are in the forest, so it's a lot of fucking trees. But if you look up, where all of them have had sprouted tons of leaves and shit, they're all kind of touching in one way or another.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like we were in a dome, and like I definitely at one point started feeling like they were getting closer in on us.
Yeah, they're reaching out to touch you.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
like or just like I would just like how did I not notice that this branch is
So close.
only like 4 feet away from my head? Yeah,
Yeah. It's depth perception is an interesting thing too.
Yeah.
because like it did feel like because the following morning the trees didn't look nearly as close as they did,
or as full.
And right,
Remember how like beautiful and vibrant the one we were sitting under was?
yeah,
and it was like right above us,
something out of a fucking fantasy book, dude.
like it felt like we can almost touch it.
yeah,
And it like every leaf was huge
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
glowing and
Yeah.
full. And then the next morning we're sitting under and like these are like pine needles. Like these are hardly even leaves.
Yeah, 100%.
This tree's fucked. This tree's ugly. Like what happened?
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy how those gifts can make you really kind of sit down and like not in a hippie like reevaluate everything around you, but it gives you perspective in the sense of like how your brain processes distance, how it processes shapes and colors, and like it you kind of, it's a reminder that your brain is like a computer in a way, that you give it something that messes with the wirings, and it's interesting to watch all the wires get screwed up, or crossed and shit, and because like for us, the trees reaching down, might have been beautiful and exciting because like, oh, they're gonna try to like high five, buddy, shake your hand, how you doing, tree?
Yeah.
To somebody else, that might be terrifying because it's coming in closer to grab them, or it's all mindset,
Yeah, exactly. Somebody could have been like, oh fuck, like I'm way too close to this, or,
right?
Like one of the other people who accepted, he definitely was quite nervous for ticks in the forest.
Oh,
so I'm sure that could have gone either way.
Probably
you're sitting right under potentially 1,000 of them.
Oh and start thinking about that, dude. Fuck. That,
and I don't think anybody walked away with one, as far as I know.
I don't think anybody got any ticks.
Yeah. I mean, because I know that they're out there because they're fucking everywhere. But
right.
Yeah, no, it really is all about mindset for sure. Because that could have been fucking shitty.
Yeah, dude.
You'd be like, oh man, like I don't want to sit this close to under a tree. Like there's gonna be bugs. There's gonna be fucking ticks. There's maybe a leaf or pine cone or something's gonna fucking hit me.
Yeah, but that I think that's the interesting part of taking gifts from interesting wood elves.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
Well, I've always liked the idea that like you have two routes. You know what I'm saying? Like you either get to, and this is Terrence McKenna, not me. So
sure.
You have like the two routes, right? You either get to, there's like an amusement ride. You know what I'm saying? I think he referred to it as like a horse. And you just get to hop on and ride and gallop and jump and have a fun time, and it's a powerful and exciting party ride. You know what I'm saying? And then the other end is like you accept your gifts and they become like a glowing stone that leads you down a very dark path. You know what I'm saying? And there's good in that, of course, because like I've said to you plenty of times, like as much as that is horrible in the moment, those days where you attack yourselves is where you learn. Yeah, you learn a lot. But the beautiful thing about the two paths, the fun ride and the vision quest, is you don't get to choose which one you're going on.
Yeah, that's true.
You never do. You can go in wanting one and you probably get the other. You might get it. You know what I'm saying? But there's more likely you'll never get the one that you want at that moment.
Yeah, it's because you can't will yourself into it,
Yeah.
Like it's when you receive gifts from
the woodland elves.
Well, just from nature.
Yeah.
In its various forms. If you're fighting it, if you're fighting the joy of the gift, then you're either not going to have a good time, or you're going to force an unauthentic outcome, if that makes sense. Because you're gonna, or you won't get the gift at all.
Yeah, it'll kind of be like one of those things where like you start to feel it, and then you will your way out of it to keep control, and then you start to feel it again, and then you will your way out of it to keep control. It's like you're just dunking your head underwater, and every time it doesn't feel like water's dripping off your chin, you dunk it again.
Yeah,
you're just, there's no point in this. Like you gotta just give up.
Yeah, you gotta let your body relax.
Yeah,
and
but
just chill.
I think the reason people tense up, a lot of it is probably because of media, though. I think if more people understood that a bad trip is really just harsh self-evaluation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's brutality. Because honesty without compassion is brutality. You're being crazy honest with yourself. And there's no compassion.
Right.
I think if people understood that was your bad trip and not necessarily beings trying to attack you,
right?
Or falling out of skyscrapers and shit, like I think more people would be less anxious to take them. Yeah,
and to your point with the screwing of the image of gifts. For a prime example is marijuana. Like marijuana is a lot of times associated with to a degree a psychedelic response, you
Yeah.
know, like in cartoons and
Yeah.
music videos. And it's like, while you can argue it's more meant to convey the feeling,
Yeah.
you know, it's for people who've never done, you know, that the visual is also assumed to be the same, you know.
Yes.
So it's when it becomes something that's beyond weed, you know, it's terrifying for a lot of people because like I see what I see, or I've seen what I've seen. Words. Is that a coherent sentence? I don't know if it is.
I see what you're getting
Yeah,
at.
I've seen the media, and by that standard, this is considered a more extreme gift, you know.
Yes.
So what the fuck is this, you know? And it's not only the uncertainty of what they're taking, but the uncertainty of how that'll affect them, you know. And it's just it's a kind of a unfortunate ballpark for a lot of people because, to your point, like there's a misunderstanding on what it means to take psychedelics, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because sometimes, like, the way I approach it personally is more of a scientific approach. I want to see how my brain reacts, how my mind reacts, how
Yeah.
my body reacts, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I'm intrigued in the biology of psychedelics, you know, more than I am like am I gonna see God, or am I gonna see the blue man in the sky, or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And I think if people understood that was an option, I think way more people would be interested in taking psychedelics, you know?
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I ever tried like acid, right? Long time ago. Long time ago. Just a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, fuck, what if I have this bad trip?
Right.
You know, what if monsters come out? You know, what if I start like...
Which sets you up for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and that's literally all because of media. Like, there was no reason for me yet to ever think that. And now that I've had some of the worst trips I think you can have, I don't know, there's probably worse ones. You know, mine was bad, but also good. I don't know. I'm sure people have had much worse.
Yeah. It's all determined by your standards and
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah, mine felt like torture for the whole ride.
I bet.
The whole ride.
12
Yeah.
hours is a long fucking time,
Yeah,
dog.
it's a long, shitty ride. But I do wonder, like, if I would have never known that, right? Like, some people, when they take psychedelics, like, they're young. And they've never seen any of the media before.
Right.
You know, like Uncle Mike, who we've talked about before, you know, drug addict, real young.
Yeah.
Still alive, killing it. Shout out to
Yeah,
Uncle Mike.
slaying it, bro.
I think he's a mover right now.
Fuck
so
yeah.
criminals get jobs, too.
Well, they can make good money, though.
He does
Those
make good
tips
money.
do.
He's supporting kids.
Name
He's doing all right.
tips.
Yeah, he's probably doing meth, but other than that, he's supporting kids.
I mean, as long as he's functioning.
Yes. Yeah, he's alive. Not in jail. So hopefully. But no, so I mean, like, he took mushrooms for the first time. I think he was probably only like 11.
Damn.
Well, yeah. Cause
It makes sense, but wild.
yeah, dude, he's crazy, man. Like, first time smoked pot was around the same, 11.
Right.
And then mushrooms around the same year, I think. And tried meth when he was 13. His dad gave it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hope he
Yeah.
listens to this one day. Fuck you for not supporting me. 206 episodes. All he does is talk shit whenever I've ever brought it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's fine,
what
but
can I say, man?
which one of us is the meth head, all right?
That's true.
Yeah, I love you,
which
Uncle
one was
Mike.
addicted to it?
I hope you
but-
do hear this. Next time I see him, I'm gonna just bring him this part.
Hey, it's like, hey, we called you out, bro.
Yeah, I'm just
What's going
I'm literally gonna pull it up on my own phone, episode 206, about 26 minutes in. That's when I start trashing you. Here you go. You fucking garbage person. I hope this is the future right now, and I'm looking him in the eyes while he's listening
playing.
to me talk
Yeah.
shit. I'm holding my phone in real time weeks from now, looking him in the eyes as this part of the show is talking. You're a piece of shit, okay? Everything about you sucks, and I love you, but you're just a mess. You need to get it together. You're too old for this.
Hubby, at least like do weed over meth. Like,
Yeah, but no, but my point is like he never knew that there would be like a negative. So you're only going into this, you know, with pure curiosity,
Right.
Maybe not good or bad.
Right.
In fact, probably leaning towards good because you're about to take it. You know, so I wonder that could be bad though, right? So
I mean, yeah, with substance abuse, yeah, that could be bad.
because if you never scare people off of it, then everybody does it. And there's a weird line where, I mean, every scientist I know, not know personally, of course, but I've listened to in lectures, every single one of them has at least tried mushrooms,
yeah,
right? All of them. You know, they all have at least one psychedelic experience. So I think that there's something to that. But I don't know that everybody needs to try acid.
no,
No. And like, so I guess there's some good in trying to scare away the weak-minded into
Mm-hmm.
not taking it.
Yeah.
Because the same kind of people who would watch a TV show and see that acid could be scary and then not take it because maybe it's scary are the same kind of people that probably don't need to have long introspective trips about themselves. They should probably just continue on with the kind of cog pattern that they live.
Sure.
You know? Because I think that's where like the line divides, is the curious versus just the, I don't want to say sheeple because I'm still envious of that life. But yeah, the 9 to 5 weekend warrior, no real aspirations, just gathering your heroisms day to day and more than okay with that.
Yeah.
Like a guy who gets a job at FedEx and is like, sweet, I can do this for the rest of my life. I'm done. That's cool. I wish I can do that.
Yeah.
I sincerely, genuinely, wholeheartedly, without a doubt, wish that was in me, but it is not. And I think that's what makes me different from somebody who saw what a terrifying trip in acid could be and still took it versus somebody who saw that same commercial and didn't take it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so maybe that person shouldn't take it. Like I think if you believe in God, maybe you don't need it. You've already got God. What if you talk yourself out of it?
Yeah.
I think, and that could be good or bad as well. But I mean, like I've come to a conclusion on this show, even after years of arguing about it. I'm pro-religion. I'm not religious,
right?
But I'm pro-religion,
right?
Because I think anybody who can replace the anxiety of death with the idea that they'll go to heaven or hell based on their actions is beautiful. I'm sure they still get a little anxious.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You must.
Yeah. Well, because it's
you're still leaving.
Everyone. It's a human thing to question. You know, like not only yourself but things. In general. So I'm sure there's like been times where somebody has questioned their faith and dropped faith entirely, or ended up strengthening their faith.
I'm sure most religious people do it at least once in their life, if it's at least, if not just overnight.
I think that's also like,
I think that there's at least one point where they go, I can't do this, and then maybe by the next day they're just like, you know what? All right, I'm back.
Yeah, and I also think that's probably one of the reasons why they have. What are those? The confession things?
That's Catholicism, confession booths.
Yeah. I
Catholics
wonder.
are weird about that.
Yeah,
they make you. You got to say everything you did wrong. Yeah, and then it's okay.
Right, and also it's like.
But then Christians,
I think not regretting, but I think what's the word? Questioning your faith, and questioning like whatever the status of your Lord is, that kind of thing. I think that's also part of the confession system, as far as like that's how they kind of get beyond it, get past it, or they don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe they confess and they still are toiled with it and they can't get their mind off of it. But I think the concept was like if you confess, then it's off your mind, off your chest, and you're free again.
Yeah. And with the Christians, as long as you just accept Christ, then you get to go to heaven.
Yeah.
But which is a fun rule. So I guess I'll do that on my deathbed anyway. But I'm
Does that
rolling.
Count?
I'm rolling all the dice.
Does that count?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I've heard that many times.
I've heard it
and
enough.
I've always wondered. I'm like, does like you get to heaven and be like, your tenure in I mean your consistency of faith has not exceeded 24 hours, or some bullshit.
You know why I think it would count? Because it's fucking made up. And the priest would say anything to get you to believe in his God.
Well, yeah.
We need you in this church. We need you to believe. Maybe we'll get, even
course.
though you're going to die, we'll get some family members of yours in here.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, like, assuming just that all of it's 100% real, you know, and like you do go to heaven or you do go to hell or whatever, you know, like if you're like literally about to die and you go to heaven, like I wonder, would it be like, sorry, bud, you're not dedicated enough. Bye-bye. Open the fucking trap door and cue the cartoon
straight
drop.
Yeah,
dude.
No, this makes me think of something interesting.
Okay.
Priests, pastors, deacons, whatever the fuck you want to call whoever's reading the book at the front, depending on your religion,
sure,
are salesmen.
Yeah.
Right? Because they need more asses in the seats for bigger collections.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
Yeah, and like... I remember my grandpa's funeral in New Mexico. We went out, of course, it was at a church. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents were, Methodist, like Uncle Mike without the O-D-I-S-T.
Right,
but, and so they did a lot of singing. I don't think my grandpa was up there singing. I know my grandma went. So when he died, we had the funeral service at the church.
Right.
And I remember the pastor, doing what pastors do. Like he was going around at the reception, kind of talking to everybody one-on-one, shaking hands, meeting people. And part of that at the moment, and I'm sure in reality, is that that's the right thing to do, right? You're leading this service. It's sad, but you need, you don't want these people to be miserable.
Sure.
You're supposed to be a celebration of life because you're pushing the idea that they went to heaven. So really, you really need to keep it upbeat. If you're pushing to heaven, that needs to be an upbeat service.
Yeah.
It really needs to be like, no, it's fine. He went to literally a better place.
It's like, it's sad that they're gone, but there's always a silver lining because they're ascending.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, if your best friends won the lottery and then bought an island and moved there, you could be sad that they're gone, but you're overwhelmingly happy that they won the lottery and got what they wanted. Right?
Right.
So, like, I mean, I feel like the overall tone, it'd still be sad in the moment. And then God lets you forget about it in like a week after the carrot cake expires.
Why is it always fucking carrot cake?
Because of that cream cheese frosting.
That's fire. Because nobody's going to fucking eat it.
I eat the hell out of that. I like spice cake too.
Carrot cake?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Something wrong with you, bro.
I don't like custard though.
Yeah, custard.
All right, good. I thought we had something going there, but
no.
but yeah. So part of it is being genuine because you're leading the service, but part of this is you're a salesman. You're selling your church. You're trying to get as many people in those seats as you can.
Right.
So it makes me wonder, like, if you are one of those pastors that comes to hospitals, that goes into the ICUs and to the whatever the dying wing is. No, I think the ICU is the dying wing. I don't think there's a second one. But they're going in and they're meeting dying people and they're letting them accept God before they die.
Right.
As total strangers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're recruiting people that are definitely not coming to the service. So I wonder if they're doing that and then they're kind of thinking like, all right, like if I get this guy into heaven now, his family will come around and I'll tell them about how I got him into heaven. And potentially that's 3 to, depending, on the big size of the family, that's like, up to like maybe 11 motherfuckers. That's a whole row.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's cold calling.
That's at least $10 a head.
Yeah, that's cold calling for pastors. Like when you're calling people to random people on a list to see if they're selling their house. That's what they're doing. They're taking shots in the dark and hoping to reel in a couple extra customers.
Yeah, you think they're going by individual rooms, going like, nah, he's good. That family's good. Oh, this dude's fucked.
No, you know what I bet they're doing? I bet they're going to the nurses station. And they're low-key asking how much family they have that comes to visit. They've got a lot of family.
Roster going.
It's like, this guy hasn't had anybody visit yet. I can skip him. Yeah. Well, if I got time, if I have time, I'll send him to heaven. But I'm gonna go look at this guy. He looks.
Everyone loves him. He's got plenty of family.
Look how many balloons are in his room.
Yeah.
This guy's killing. He's buying me a car. Hello, Mr. Santana. Oh, no. I'll be right back.
Oh, it was Santiago? Shit.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Pardon.
Yeah. He just accidentally names him like what kind of car he thinks he's going to get. Mr. Elantra. Eduardo. He's thinking of the low budget car that 15 of this guy's family members just bought out a whole road of service.
It's very we're painting the pastures here to be very snake oil salesman-y.
Well, I mean, they kind of are if you think about it. Shit, Catholicism was like founded at a table in Rome, right? But think about this, dude. Like if you get a guy, if you cold call and you land right, like you can set up a service with the family at the hospital. Right after they pull him out so he's not killing the sale. You know what I'm saying? Because at first everybody gathers around. Yeah. Pastor's there. They kind of meet him a little bit, but he's also there to send him off. He was there for the last few minutes. He's really got to sell this, dude. Yeah. Because it's cold calling. You can't just go in there with no energy. You gotta kick some fucking ass to make this sale.
Yeah, can you imagine somebody being way too peppy?
Yeah. He's just rolling dice and shit. But so they come in, right, and like he sees the guy off, and then finally they they put the fucking blanket and they haul his dumb ass off, and now he's with the family. He's like, hey, like this is really tough. I run a church a couple blocks down the street, and I'd be happy to throw a service for you for free of charge. You know, because what's that to him? You know, the space, a sermon.
Now,
but now if people are showing up to this dude's funeral and none of them have ever been to the church before, then you have potentially a whole church worth of new customers,
right?
/ followers,
Yeah,
you know, or whatever you want to call them, patrons.
Yeah, I guess you call them patrons.
What do you call your sheep if you're a
Attendees.
pastor? What does a pastor call his followers or his sheep? His
followers?
Yeah,
followers.
Okay. His paychecks? He looks at them and he thinks about what bills he has based on like he knows how much money they're putting in the collection.
Yeah, there's a couple Washingtons, a couple Benjamins.
Yeah, and then people are buying his love. You know, they got old ladies putting in checks for like $12.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it's
an extra good service. $12 check every Sunday.
They definitely. You know, I wonder too, like way back in the day when religion was first like a thing, or not even really first a thing, but I guess first becoming a widespread commonplace, you know, right? Yeah. I'm wondering if like it was common for people to take up the religious mantle, not because I feel like nowadays it's usually like, oh, like, yeah, it's for the faith and for the good of the people. But the snake oil salesman type pasture, you know, probably 100% was a thing, you know, back in early.
Well, Lenny Bruce did it.
Like social war. Yeah, that's true.
Lenny Bruce, the comedian. Yeah,
that is true.
He pretended to be a pastor and he was collecting donations for the leper colony. Mm-hmm. Oh, and he wasn't. He stole the pastor collar. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a pastor. He wasn't. And when the cops came to arrest him for fraud, a group of old ladies shielded him from the cops and didn't let them arrest their pastor.
I understand, dude.
You know what I'm saying? He was just a comedian.
Dude, how can people be so gullible, bro?
Yeah, he saw a bunch of lepers while smoking hash on a boat. And then,
I have an idea.
And stole a pastor's collar. Yeah. It is fucking awesome. But like, I mean, there's got to be some successful con artists, right?
Yeah,
like,
nowadays too, sure. I definitely pull back my statement, and it probably is commonplace to a degree in the real world now too.
I'm sure there's like a percentage of just like guys who don't really believe in it. But
like, they're just there.
Because if you think about it, like they take collection, and then you ask somebody who goes to church, and the answer when you ask them what it's for is for the church.
Right.
The church is always garbage. Everything is always broken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's always rafters that are like cracked and split.
Yep.
One of the fucking tile windows is broken. The fucking HVAC doesn't work.
Yep.
The fucking plumbing doesn't work. The kitchen's been closed for 3 years. But they're having 2 services a day with the big one on Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're collecting all of this money. And I know that the church pays for room and board of the pastor. But it's like, so how much is he taking for room and board? Because Mike and I got into this plenty, right? Like, it's got to go back to the church. It's got to go back to the church. When's the last time you saw some, like, mega church that's full of LCD screens? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Projecting Jesus carrying across the entire church. You know, they got a hologram of him that comes in.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they're taking in money.
There's the ones that you usually have that either have some sort of membership like fee. Yeah. You know, that they charge their
there's a big one of those up the hill from us
because of the way they justify because I know a couple guys that do AV in big scale churches because like there are some churches that have like a couple like a nice stage with a couple microphones.
Oh, dude, literally right up the road. You know? I used to deliver pizzas, gherkin spoils all the time. Their church is huge. It's mega, and then like downstairs they have legit stages. They have like a theater and then like 2 other stages and then the place where the kids go and the kids are getting taken to Jesus Loves Paintball night.
Loves paintball.
Yeah, where they fucking paint a bunch of crosses on glow-in-the-dark paintballs and fucking pelt all the children with them.
And they shoot you in the fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
I mean, the super churches, though, that have like the next scale beyond that, you know.
Yeah, but see, that's the money's clearly going into the church.
Yeah, well, that usually, to your point, that is the super churches are the ones that usually have some sort of fee.
Yeah, they have membership. Yeah,
or they rent out their facilities. You know, so the places that are constantly active in getting like sermons or all that shit that's going on. I'm pretty far removed from religion, so I don't really know too much about church activities. Beyond God summer camp,
they're all
summer camp.
Yeah, they're all slightly different, but the same shit. Read the book.
Yeah, those ones that are constantly churning, and they're not like losing base over generations, and still have no maintenance updates. That's when you start going like, okay, like, what are you doing, motherfucker?
I knew this really nice fella. His name was like Eduardo or something.
Eduardo.
Which I think I used that name earlier in the show.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
But I think his name literally, it's something like that. Either way, he was like this. He was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. He was this Mexican dude who went to church every single day.
Damn.
Every day he went to church, which means that church had sermons every day, right? Unless, like the pastor's just kind of kicking it in the back and keeps the door unlocked in case assholes want to come in. But I think that they at least are having probably, like a 5 and a 7 during the weekdays, and then like a 9, 11, and 1 on Sundays. Because I've seen churches do that for sure.
Right,
They do the sermon 2 or 3 times. So that means they're pulling in quite a bit of money just off numbers.
Yeah.
And that's, that's a small shit church. So I wonder how much of that money is going into this dude's pocket.
Yeah, and definitely I'd be curious too, because I know that there's plenty of churches that have like the occasional big events on the weekends with then consistency throughout the week,
Yeah.
But their attendance numbers are extremely low, and usually there's like a trend too. Like if you were to do like a data analyst side of it all, there's like a very clear chart of attendance dropping over not only overall but over generations,
Yeah.
And I think one of the problems that churches are seeing nowadays is that there's still young people involved in churches, but there's significantly less from 10 years, this past 10 years, comparatively to like 10 years in the 1990s and the 1980s.
Yeah. Well, because things are getting better, and also everybody's viewpoints are getting shared.
It's true.
30 years ago, before the internet really was anybody in anyone's house, your views were probably about the same as everybody around you, especially when it came to something like religion. Because I think I don't know what the number is, but I saw some statistic about active Christians in the United States, and it is a huge fucking number. Like it may be varying as the generations go, but the vast majority of people will claim that they're at least like Christian.
Yeah, or have some sort of like influences.
Christianity is like an umbrella. So you got your Catholicism through Episcopalian or whatever the fuck the alphabet is.
Right.
You got your snake whisperers. You got your singers. You got your drunks.
Yeah.
You got your fucking like the guys who just fucking do and then they fucking wig out on the floor and everybody throws money at them.
Yeah, and they call all the paramedics and it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah. And I wonder how many of those motherfuckers have been having real problems, and then people just thought they were feeling the Lord, but because the church will hide that. They'll pretend that they fucking got to him right away.
Because like
they'll cheer him on for like 15 minutes until he stops wiggling.
Oh, he's seeing the Lord. He's having a conversation, and he's just
tweaking. Get it, Ed.
Come on, Ed.
Yeah, and then he's just laying on the floor. He's got fucking a little bit of foamy drool because he's super dehydrated from the stroke he's having.
Oh no!
And like he's just barely kicking, and people are still like, "God damn, Ed, you're really feeling it today, huh?" Like, I wish, and then you're like, they're looking at their dumb kids. And they're just like, see, that's what having the Lord in you is like. And then the kids think that that's appropriate. And then finally, he settles down. He's dead. He's no longer moving. And they're just like, hey, I'd be tired if I, got that much of the Lord in me too.
Right. Just let him rest. It's fine.
It's not until the service gets out when everybody, or they do the weird shit where they shake each other's hands and spread COVID.
Oh,
That's why the churches had to shut down. It's not about singing at each other. It's about that stupid shit. I've been to so many churches, and every church has one thing in common besides Jesus. There's always a part where the pastor says, okay, now we're going to greet everybody in here and say hello. And everybody is to stand up and just wander about the room, shaking people's hands and saying hello to them.
Interesting.
Whether you know them or not.
Yeah.
And for me, I always went to friends' churches growing up because I spent the night at somebody's house every fucking weekend because my parents were wild. So I need to get the fuck out of there.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I was always like, it would be like, can I spend the night at your house on Saturday? And then their parents are like, well, we got to go to church on Sunday. And I'd be like, I don't give a shit. Let's go to church.
Yeah, let's go. I'm down.
And all of them,
I
I experienced so many, and all of them do that. They do the wander around, shake hands.
That's so weird.
And,
I mean, not weird.
And I would know nobody.
In the sense of, like, because there's many things that bled from religion to religion, many practices that are similar,
Yeah.
But if that one's super consistent, like, I'm wondering if that is, like, just because that's a common place to meet everybody.
Yeah.
But it seems like a very specific, like, thing for everyone to also happen to come up with, everyone thinks of, there's a specific time in the sermon where we stop and everyone just chats with each other and everything. Like, I wonder if that was just over time what everyone just like, oh, that's a good idea, let's do that too, or if that was just a universal like coincidence,
Yeah. Because it is kind of strange, right? Because if you think back further and further and further in time, there's less and less people, so you more likely already knew everybody,
right?
So like back then it wouldn't really seem to be necessary. It's like, say hi to everybody. There's 40 of us that exist in this village.
Town.
Like there's fucking 12 huts. I know all of you. It's fine. I don't like
Let's
this.
Get back to
necessary.
the preaching, please.
But then now you do it to where everything is huge. So I wonder how that came about.
Yeah.
Because it had to be somewhere before the explosion of Christianity when it went 1,000 different directions.
Right.
Because they all do it. But also, I don't fucking know.
It's probably around the same time that humans started to get into bigger numbers and religion became more widespread.
Yeah. Do we know anybody that's super into religion? Not that like goes to church.
We know Mormons and shit,
I'm talking somebody who's like studied it.
Oh.
Yeah, like somebody who's actually into religion, not into their religion.
Right, into the concept of religion.
Yeah.
And,
if you're listening to this and you know somebody who's actually like studied religion, like send them like.
Let's talk about this. Yeah.
Send them our shit or send me their like shit and I'll reach out to them because I'm really curious on how that happened. But then also like a lot of it, like I wonder what they think about like my views as far as this being like a pyramid scheme. That's also a very healthy thing to have,
right?
Because I think it's bullshit for me, which is fine because I also agree that other people should have it. I don't want to tear the churches down,
right?
I don't think pastors shouldn't exist. I don't think anything should change. I honestly, what they're doing is fine. I think it's cool, and like I said about the being cool with the FedEx job forever, I wish I could have that, but I do not personally.
Right.
And then that way in the future when they clip this episode, well, we send them this clip on top of it from the same episode. But no, I mean, like I would really like to talk to somebody about that. That would be really interesting because I am curious about what they would think of, like, do they think it's bullshit? Like, because like if you've studied multiple religions, that means you might still have your own,
right?
But I wonder, like, what's the chances you think it's bullshit versus you truly believe in the one that you picked?
Sure.
Because to study them and still pick one, you gotta really fucking believe in that one for sure, and you have the reason why.
Yeah.
Because because you would know why you picked that one. If it was bullshit, by now you would have figured it out.
Yeah, right.
Or
at least you would have contested it at some point.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they do that all the time.
Right.
And that'd be cool, yeah. So if you guys know anybody like that, I think we'd find somebody that does that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
That would be
and this
really
whole
fun.
Conversation started and stemmed from the little wood elves that gave us gifts.
Yeah, because those gifts,
lead to
arguably,
thought.
They lead to thought, which arguably led to religion. Like Terrence McKenna, his stoned ape theory was, the monkeys came down from the tree.
Right.
And then they ate the mushrooms and then their brains exploded. They heard their conscience for the first time ever. Things made sense for the first time. Sounds like had meaning for the first time. Gestures,
Yeah.
facial expressions,
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah, the concept of consciousness and self.
Yeah,
you know,
it was the difference between a dog and like a person,
Right.
or I guess a monkey, because we were bipedal hominids that came down from the trees.
I'm getting some serious deja vu right now.
Because I've brought this
I
up so
feel
many
like we've
times.
talked about this, like, but I mean, like, I even down to me saying the concept of self and consciousness. I feel like we've had this exact conversation.
We probably have, because I can't focus. I love that. I love that shit so much.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah. Plus,
like,
just so many books and interviews and shit that I've read and listened to about like that whole world of psychedelics. Like, it's so interesting to me.
Yeah, because I feel like you can. It's one of those things, like similar in philosophy, that you'll always end up with more questions than answers. You know?
And what a fun thing to have for philosophy if you're going to choose one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, fuck Christianity. Think about mushrooms.
Yeah, I think it was think about the gifts of
Think
the
about
world,
DMT,
bro.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah. Think about acid. Think about peyote.
peyote.
Mescaline.
Oh, damn.
Peyote. Honestly, I would try peyote before I would try acid, meth, or heroin.
Yeah,
Because peyote is natural.
that's true.
Nobody's doing anything to it. The earth is providing
It's
it.
just not something you hear very often.
Because
you know?
it's not grown often. More likely you could find a mescaline cactus.
Right.
But growing a peyote cactus is illegal. It's
Right.
like one of the last things that the Native Americans from that area of like Arizona and shit are allowed to have. But like a normal person, a white like us, we can't grow peyote cactuses, but we can grow mescaline cactuses. People can buy them anywhere. The fucking plant lady over here probably has fucking
That's
mescaline.
a couple. Yeah.
But I would try it. I think before I would try acid again, or before I would try meth or heroin or PCP, because that's just the Earth made that one versus like a scientist.
Man-made, yeah.
And some would argue, rightfully, that you should follow the scientist, right? Because the scientist took the data from the Earth and then turned that into something. They were like, okay, this is what it is. This is what harms you. This is what doesn't harm you. This is what makes you happy. This is what makes you sleepy.
Right.
Let's take out the bad parts and we'll ramp up the good parts. Crazy strong.
Right. Like, just out of your mind kind of strong.
And like, because of pharmaceutical companies, I guess, like, you're a lot more trusting in something that a chemist made than you are something that a farmer made, which doesn't really make sense. But it's like if the doctor gives you Oxycontin because you broke your arm, you're not questioning him.
Sure.
If you tell the doctor you're sad and they give you antidepressants, most people are not questioning them. They trust them. Take this pill. I have this problem. My knee hurts. I have this rash. I cut myself the other day. Pill, 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 pill.
Right.
And you're just like, well, that guy's real smart. I'll eat it. That's fine. But then something like, mushrooms or peyote or mescaline, people, or even weed, people are like, oh no, that came from the ground. That must have been grown by a criminal. That's the only way plants grow.
Weird.
Is if you're a bad plant, then you can only be grown by criminal, and that criminal doesn't wash his hands because he's busy raping. Because that's what criminals do. Rapists.
Process of domino effect,
All meth and heroin is made by rapists. I think that's what this comes down to. I think if we've learned anything in the first 58 minutes of the show, is that all of the meth and heroin is made by rapists.
And pedophiles.
Oh, no, made by scientists. Sorry. All of the mushrooms and marijuana is grown by rapists
and pedophiles.
Yeah, if it's marijuana, if it's come from the earth, the only way it could have been grown was by a child raping arsonist, and nobody good can grow it. The sun can't grow it on its own. No, there's no plant that can grow on its own without a human taking care of it. It doesn't work like that.
That's how the green thumb was invented.
Yeah,
bro.
Every blade of grass and tree that you see is being watered by someone. Okay, like they don't grow on their own. And all of those people, criminal, rapists, arson, pedophiles that were caught. And this is like, they're out there with the bus. They're chain ganging it.
Yep.
They got their little highlighter vests.
They're recruiting their little buddies for it and everything too.
Yeah. Fucking, I think that's how it is. And, and that's why heroin and meth is safer than marijuana and mushrooms. Because
cocaine,
it's not like that same rapist couldn't get a Gatorade bottle with a battery and some baking soda or sprayed some Raid on like a fucking cooking tray and then cooked it and flaked it off into a bag. No, only scientists know how to make meth.
To do that. Yeah,
You have to go to school for 8 years to make meth. And yeah, that's just that's the world. That's
easy,
how it is.
hands down.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
I think
guess,
people have some priorities they need to figure out.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, like I said, I'd rather try peyote. So I, by proxy.
We only trust rapists,
Yeah,
dude.
by proxy, I guess. I do business with rapist, pedophile arsons.
I hope to God
across
nobody
the
clips
US.
that, dude. If somebody just clips just that little
Just this
bit,
last
dude,
minute.
like as soon as you hit your big break, they're gonna
Yeah.
be like, "What's this shit right
Yeah.
here, motherfucker?"
Yeah, but then we're gonna refer them to the same clip from like 3 minutes ago, where I was talking about how it's all okay.
Yeah, you're all fucking idiots.
Bro,
Oh my God.
speaking of idiots, all right, this is something kind of cool.
Okay.
So normally, like I said in the beginning of the show, we record on Sundays. It comes out Wednesdays.
Right.
Sometimes news changes.
Right.
So something that had happened that I was going to talk about was the fact that Onlyfans decided that they were no longer going to be accepting porn.
Yeah, I saw that.
No more penetration.
Good
You
old bait and switch.
You could do like nudes, but no more porn. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to say that they want to be more inclusive by getting more light to artists. They were trying to buy podcasts to do episodes on
Right.
OnlyFans. They're trying to promote, like, I saw an OnlyFans ad on Instagram for like a painter. It was just some bitch
That's
painting, and I was like,
interesting.
she better be fucking naked because
Yeah,
I'm not paying $10
yeah.
a month
Yeah.
to see this bitch's paintings or watch her paint with clothes on. That's crazy. It's way too much money. Why does a painter deserve that?
I don't know.
Yeah, if you're no, because then everybody would just be a painter. Right?
Yeah, because then you get into the argument of content creation and like being interested in the person again.
Yeah, but-
not just their tits or their body or whatever.
Yeah, but I think OnlyFans in particular could never get away. They can't get to that,
No.
right? Because they've already established their
Yes.
ground.
Yep.
Yeah, and like maybe they were trying to get bought out by somebody. Like maybe the owner was just like, okay, this is growing way too fast. I'd rather just bail now, and whatever happens to the next guy.
Maybe.
And like, but then coming to agreement with the kind of company that can afford OnlyFans,
Right.
which is now probably a huge company.
Yeah, multi-million at least.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Bad Baby made almost $1 million in like the first day. Remember, it's like 6 hours. She made
Yeah.
$750,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, the kind of money, I think they get 5%, the website or
Yeah.
something like that.
Use some chunk. Yeah.
Or no, it might even be more. But either way, like they're pulling in a lot of money. So for a company to afford that, you're looking at like Facebook or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not looking at Joe Schmo who wants to go buy OnlyFans for like $700 million. Didn't Instagram sell for like $1 billion to Facebook?
Something ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Instagram was like kind of starting to kill Facebook, and they were just like, "No, we'll buy you. We're buying this and putting our name on it."
As Facebook does, you know.
Well,
the Zuck just takes over, bro.
Oh yeah, well that was fucking so wise.
He's the man.
They were like, it was just exploding and exploding, and still is today. And then Zuckerberg was like, I got $2 billion. I
I'm
could
gonna
just
take
lose.
this.
Yeah, this is mine.
I got like 10 billion. I can just lose,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That company, like, on a side tangent, that company is just filthy rich, dude. I've been to their like HQ before, and Jesus, dude,
Yeah.
like talk about a facility that's like visibly has money coming out of their fucking every nose, nostril, fucking every empty leak corner.
Yeah.
Everything is decked out at their HQ, from
Yeah.
like an artist way to like convenience and quality of life to everything.
Yeah,
dude.
so shouldn't churches
It's
be like
nuts,
that?
dude? No, of
To
course
bring
not.
it back full circle?
Of course not. No.
They're pulling in the money. It should be going back to church to decking it
It's
out.
going into their pocket.
I want
baby.
recliner benches. The full bench reclines.
Yeah, I want to be able to take a nap in the middle of the
Suede.
sermon.
Real
Yeah.
suede.
I better just be able to clap my fucking hands and popcorn shows up. God
Yeah,
damn it.
exactly. I want fucking death robots to guard the doors from Jews and Muslims, because we are a
Muslims?
strictly Episcopalian Christian church.
Oh.
Yep.
I thought you were just going to go for some generic, but you went for some wild one.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's to justify saying such awful things.
Yeah.
I have to make sure people know I'm a character and not me saying that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like that.
fair enough. Yeah, I think a part of the show being audio does not assist to that effect sometimes,
love it.
because if they don't see our faces, they're like, oh, these motherfuckers are serious.
That's kind of the fun of the show, though. Nobody knows. Like,
But-
remember, like we talked about the episode with radio. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're putting your imagination into what I look like, what you look like.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like what the studio looks like.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what this fucking room looks like but us.
Yeah,
You know?
it could be like some in their head, some $10,000 fucking nice little space that we built, and I'm like, sucker, it's my fucking garage,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. And like the people who see the City Bumpkins, that's a video show.
Yeah.
They're just getting a black backdrop.
That's true.
You know, they don't know
see
anything.
anything behind.
This could be like the fucking
illusion.
studio from 8 Mile for all as you know. All right, and I could just be like a 6'4" black guy.
Yes, I think
You
some
know?
people thought you were.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they might be right.
Because people
could be
probably also
correct.
people probably thought I looked like. Nobody's ever seen me
Yeah,
that's heard me and then been like, oh yeah, you look how I imagined.
yeah, that's true.
It's
Isn't that
always
weird?
it's always something else. I thought
Yeah.
you'd be taller.
Yeah.
Why?
It's-
What about me sounded taller?
Yeah, like how does a sound equate height?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then my voice is fucking just super deep. So I think people
Yeah.
they think I'm just I don't know. They never expect me.
Mhm.
And it's not like I'm a big fucking dude. I don't know why. Big guy, deep voice makes sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Most people when they see me and they don't get no voice, they think I'm a lesbian. So you get to imagine your own world with just visuals and no audio as well. The world is about imagining.
Yeah, yeah. But to reel this back as far as
Yeah.
OnlyFans, right?
Yes.
The other side I could see it really being is I'm just gonna take a
Oh, yeah,
conscious
we're
look at
good.
the time. The other thing that I could see it being is that actually. So let me even pull back even further.
Okay.
Do you remember what the first commercials and advertisements were for OnlyFans? Were they advertising as a place for sex workers and pornographic material, or was it like kind of universal, like just have an OnlyFans, subscribe, and for content?
The interesting thing about OnlyFans
Because I can't
is
remember.
I think the reason you can't remember is because I don't think there was any.
Yeah.
Because they didn't need that. They were selling porn.
Well, I'm
Here's
saying
the thing is,
I'm saying when
this
it
is-
first comes out, pre-porn.
Well,
you
this
know?
is how OnlyFans exploded, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Right? You had Instagram models that were already like selling private Snapchats.
Mm.
Right? So the idea was like, all right, so there was this issue in the porn business where these companies were taking in lots and lots of money, like Brazzers.
Right.
So Brazzers signs a porn star to a contract. They make crazy money off of this star,
Mhm.
and then meanwhile the girl gets shit and then ends up ODing 3 years after her career ends.
Yeah. Like getting her
Uh,
ass whooped by her
Yeah,
boyfriend.
and they know that that's going to happen either way, so they just take a much larger check. So what happened was, yeah, I know, right? So
Jesus.
so what happened was I think Pornhub came out with like the premium thing, where you could pay $10 a month, and that's when you saw porn start to get like edited down.
Yeah.
Right now the cum shot's not in it.
Mhm.
Now it's only 4 minutes, and it's clearly chopped up like it was probably 30 or 40.
Mhm.
Now you got to buy that whole scene.
Right.
Where before it was just you just look for a video that says 40 minutes on it.
Right.
So then content, these porn stars, content creating whores, would, they would make their profiles and then they would sell their own clips, and then they would take Snapchat and they would say like, Venmo me $35 and then send me an email. Bubbles subscribe to plenty of these. Shout out Bubbles. You send me like, $30 on Venmo and your Snapchat username. And then, for like a year, I'll post pictures of my titties on that Snapchat account. And the only people who'll be allowed to follow that account are the people who I verified sent me money.
Right.
So the market already existed.
Yeah.
OnlyFans kind of just stepped in and was like, hey, you guys can just sell shit here. And all of the whores just had an uprising where all of a sudden every meme page is posting a picture of at least 4 or 5 different women a day.
Right.
And each one of those women has an OnlyFans.
Yep.
And it quickly became, if she has an OnlyFans, you have to pay to see that, which means you're probably going to be able to see her titties. So immediately it became born.
Right.
right? There was no stopping that.
Right.
They couldn't have stopped that if they tried.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that there was advertisement. I think like that was the first time I ever saw an ad for OnlyFans that I can remember.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they tried to do like Cuomo at the end when he was saying about all the people he hugs and kisses on the regular. Like they tried to put out that ad like, no, like watch this bitch paint. It doesn't have to be porn. And like then like Facebook was like, yes, we can buy you if you stop doing porn.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well what if we put a ban on it and October 1st, no more penetration, no more, so that includes like masturbation, like only nudes, and then we push it strictly to be for artists.
Yeah.
You know, nudes can be on it, essentially killing themselves like Tumblr. Right? So the internet exploded. And this is where we bring it back full circle, right? So this was all happening like last week. So I was going to talk about it on the show.
Right.
Internet explodes with memes. I'm ready to come on and talk about how I feel about OnlyFans doing this because to me, just like the rest of the internet, I'm like, were you just gaining money so fast that you got terrified and you want to leave? Like,
yeah.
Because that's like what? That's literally...
Yeah, it is kind of left field.
Imagine if you walked up to a slot machine and you pulled the big crank on it and you won $1 million. And you were just like, for the fuck of it, you put $1 back in, you pull the crank on it, and you win $2 million.
Yeah.
And you look around and nobody's watching, and you keep pulling it, and millions of dollars are coming out. And then at one point you just go, okay, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I need to fucking leave now.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
I think that,
honestly, yeah.
because the problem with OnlyFans, just like Pornhub, is that there's no control over the content that's being uploaded to a degree because it's being flooded. So there's probably like nudes that were stolen, put up against somebody's wills.
Yeah, liability
rape
issues.
videos, minors, and OnlyFans was probably looking down the barrel of billions of dollars in lawsuits.
Yeah, probably
for all of their child porn.
I could see that, honestly.
And so they decide like they're gonna try to take this hard left. October 1st, no more penetration, and the internet goes, "You're fucking stupid. Like you have so much money coming to you. Why would you ever do that?" So then, today, they come out with the news, or yesterday, I guess.
Yeah.
They come out with the news that they're going back on that agreement. Porn will be allowed because they don't want to exclude any artist. So remember when it started, it was we're banning porn because we want to include artists.
Right.
Now they realize that they just shot themselves in the foot with a hand cannon. Yeah. And they're just like, no, we got to keep porn because we don't want to exclude artists. So OnlyFans, and that's the reason to bring it full circle. You know, if we would have recorded this on Sunday, I would have made some long, crazy rant about how OnlyFans is retarded.
Yeah.
And here we are, Wednesday.
Right back in it. Yep.
Show's coming out in like, 40 minutes to an hour.
Yep.
And I'm over here with the actual fucking, with the real story.
Yeah, the final wrap up of everything.
Yeah. So,
but it's interesting. My microphone. It's interesting because, like, I see that point. And I totally can see maybe some higher ups initially came up with the concept of OnlyFans to be, applicable to everything, right? Yeah. And because porn just happened to be thing that gripped it, Yeah. I wonder, because as you say, as the train kind of turns into a runaway train, and the fear is not only just lawsuits, but their platform not becoming what they maybe originally had envisioned for, you know? Yeah. And there is like a gray area because you don't want to just pull it out, especially because, like, to your point, they've been making so much money and really kind of riding the back of sex work, you know? To pull that away and kind of leave them all high and dry, is not only scummy, but I think would cause more issues as far as their platform image than they would have if they had just let people just do what they wanted to do, and say like, oh, whoopsies, just kidding, like, come back, you know. And I don't know, like, I'm kind of indifferent about it because while I get the idea of maybe if you were to place yourself in as the CEO or the CIO or one of the chief officers, maybe the team, and you guys all had a vision of something, but then it gets warped some way else entirely. It's like I can see the notion of they going like, yeah, this has turned into a sex platform, but it's like it's not what we originally wanted to do with our thing, and I can see the conflict of wanting to try and transform it. But the way they went about just saying, nah, just go away, all of you, that was their first explosion mistake, you know?
And then immediately going back.
And I don't think they're going to really completely recover from that, because there's going to be a lot of people who originally had an OnlyFans, you know, that if they didn't make enough money to be worth it, now they're going to be like, just fuck you, because this is wasting my time.
Well, not only that, but within the 1 week that it took them to make this statement and then completely retract on it, like 100 platforms like OnlyFans were created.
Yeah.
Loyal fans.
Exactly.
Only
to cash in on what they're
losing.
losing.
There was just fucking, I bet, so many variations of the word OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
And like, there's going to be a lot of artists that immediately John called them artists.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of whores that immediately jumped ship and like went to one of these other ones. And like, maybe they'll come back to OnlyFans, maybe they'll stop. But they definitely they took a knife and then they stabbed themselves in the stomach. And they're like, no, wait, I don't want to die. Yeah. And now they're holding a wound. Yeah. They're holding a gash. You know what I'm saying? Like, OnlyFans is now bleeding from this weird bipolar mistake that they're making.
Right. And that's why I think I'm leaning more towards the fact that it was probably a creative decision. Yeah. That, hey, this is turning into porn and we didn't really want it to be a porn-only platform. And then just not necessarily chaos, but just communication issues leading to mistakes, right? Because if their original motive, again, from my perspective, if the original motive was to sell to fucking porn. Yeah. Porn's huge.
Honestly,
Pornhub probably could buy them for just as much as Facebook.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. I feel like Pornhub could buy them for just as much. Yeah. And that would be the equivalent of Facebook buying Instagram.
Right.
Pornhub would just take this massive cash cow, and they already are dealing with the legal teams. And they're already in this world of sorting their content. A couple months ago, every account had to be verified. Right. Just flushing out the kiddie porn. So Pornhub already knows how to kind of do that.
Yeah, they know the legal boundaries and how to deal with liability.
And they know kind of how to flush out the kiddie porn and the rape shit a little. Right. Not entirely, but along with all the comedians and things, cancel culture over the last year or so has finally made its way into porn. There was the Girls Do Porn guys. They were essentially raping girls. Yeah. There was that one fucking guy, I forgot his name, but he's like one of the more famous guys. He just got taken down because of like the crazy shit that he was doing in these scenes that the women didn't agree to. Yeah. And it just makes me watch the scenes more, but like it is coming into the world now though of porn where they're starting to get hit, where the internet is trying to actually finally put a lasso on it in some way. Yeah, so it's like if their that's why I'm just like, if their motive was to sell, like they should have stuck with sex and sold porn.
Yeah, porn should have been like the dead giveaway. Like, all right, this is clearly a multi-billion-dollar industry. Sell it to porn. So that's why I'm kind of leaning on the side that I think it was a creative thing. Creative differences, creative issues. Like the leadership probably is not all on the same page as far as people who are running OnlyFans.
Because we have been seeing this over the last few months with OnlyFans, with them, like I said, paying podcasts. Right. Paying other artists. Like they were sponsoring people to do things on their website to create content.
But it wasn't enough in sheer volume comparatively to porn.
Exactly. So it was probably like, like a small lobby within the company that's pushing for them to spread outwards. And everybody up top is like, we'll let you have your thing, but fuck off. And then finally they were just like, but we're going to get sued to oblivion. You guys are going to jail. And they're like, what? We're going to jail? No. We're strictly a bitch who paints website for $10 a month. That's all we're selling on here. And then somebody was like, hey, wait. I talked to the guys at Pornhub. Right. All we got to do is start verifying people. Yeah. Really making sure that they're of age and getting this legal shit right, and we're going to be fine. And then everybody in that lobby was fucking hung and beat to death in the fucking in
immediately
the foyer.
and left out as an example.
Yeah, dude, they fucking like the Mongolians. They put all their heads on pikes.
Yeah.
In the little entryway where the receptionist sits with the security guard.
Oof.
And it's like, yeah, it's just everybody who wanted OnlyFans to sell just only art.
Yeah.
And no more porn.
Yeah, and now they're all just a very painful depiction of what happens when you go against porn, dude.
Yeah, can't go against porn, dude. Porn
runs the world, bro.
It does. It decides a lot of markets. It's the reason that
Besides tech.
It's the reason that what was it? VHS beat Betamax.
Yep.
Was because porn started getting shot on VHS because it was cheaper.
Yep.
And it's the reason that
why it went to Blu-ray too, I think.
Yeah, Blu-ray beat HD. It was because it was cheaper for porn to go to Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So you got to follow porn. Porn's going into VR.
It's crazy.
VR is the way to go.
What a primal thing to be the driving force of an entire fucking species, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Think about like Monty Python. I think it was the meaning. It is the meaning of life. The opening credits are the gorillas.
Yeah.
And in the silhouette of the gorillas.
Yeah.
And they're beating their chests. And then they slowly get lower, and eventually they get to their dick.
Yeah.
And then they just jerk off, and all of them are jerking off.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
British humor.
Yeah, but god damn it was true. That was so damn true.
Dude.
Like that's really, god damn, dude. Like, it really is just the biggest driving force if you think about it.
Yeah.
What industry is bigger than porn?
Nothing.
Like
literally nothing. Like because everyone is involved in sex to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could argue like tech, you can argue funeral business is always booming because people are always dying. You can argue just porn is not only extremely accessible because almost every household has internet to some capacity now.
Yeah.
People go like, oh, I don't have a computer. Like, do you have a phone? Yeah. Then you have the fucking access to the porn.
Yeah.
It's just right out the gate,
You got a fucking PlayStation?
Yeah. Right.
You could figure it out.
Yeah, like there is no, I don't think there is any other industry whose product is as accessible as porn is.
Think about this. No other industry where a large portion of its employees work for free. People just upload porn.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Like the porn is free. You can buy subscriptions to get better HD porn.
Right, and that usually are coming from studios.
But porn is free.
Right.
Even if it's coming from a studio, people are ripping it and then re-uploading it.
That's true.
The studio is ripping it, condensing it, and re-uploading
to
it.
get you to get the actual thing. Yeah.
Nothing else that sells with this many numbers, it could be majority free.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is wild to think about too.
Like
how much in demand it is.
Like I wonder what percentage of people actually pay for porn. I'm sure it's a shocking number.
Yeah.
But I bet it's still got to be pretty low.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like less than 20% because there's just so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't imagine like between like like OnlyFans or Snapchat accounts and then stuff like Oh My Bod and Chatterbait, which is like live web streaming porn, and then shit like Pornhub or YouPorn, where it's just backlogged thousands. It's the largest archive fucking internet.
Yeah,
it's the fucking it's the craziest library ever to exist
of whatever you
and
need.
It's infinite.
Yeah,
it's fucking infinite.
Yeah, you probably could like spend. I wonder if you could play every single video on YouTube. Or not YouTube, wow, Pornhub. If the amount of footage that's uploaded to Pornhub can equate roughly to what YouTube is, because there's probably a stat somewhere, and I wonder if you're listening and you want to look it up and put it in the Discord that we have, that'd be great. But I would love to see the stats of hourly uploaded footage, daily uploaded footage, and yearly. Condensed with the YouTube.
Yeah, because we know that it's 30% of all internet traffic is porn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like YouTube's the only really comparable medium that we can maybe think of that is free content that's being consistently uploaded just nonstop.
But okay, think about this: 30% of internet traffic is porn.
Mm-hmm.
There's like what 7 billion people.
Yeah.
Let's say 4 readily have a phone that they can check. I think that's fair considering small shithole countries and children and old people that don't understand them.
Right. Yeah.
Like we'll say about half the population.
Sure.
So let's say 4 billion and 30% of that, which is 1.2 billion, probably.
Yeah.
That's 1.2 billion people or interactions with porn at a moment's
hits
notice,
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest industry possible. You know?
Yeah.
Like tech is obviously how it survives.
Right.
And like you can maybe tobacco, but or oil.
Maybe oil.
But
maybe.
I think porn. If porn wasn't free, it would be the biggest thing ever. I think it would be like twice. Like it'd be like 5 Amazons.
Yeah.
If no porn was free.
Yeah. Or maybe, I would wonder what that would, because the fact that that's free is one of the reasons why it's so popular too.
Yeah.
Especially because when you're adolescent, young, fucking raging teen.
Before internet, people were collecting porn though. There was VHSs and there was magazines and Sears catalogs and shit like
Sears catalog.
Yeah. So it ain't going nowhere.
Shoes, but some nice look, titties.
Yeah. But like imagine like if it was $1 to watch a porn video, right? People would probably put that in their budget. People pay $10 a day for cigarettes.
Yeah.
They smoke a pack a day at $10. That's $300.
That's like addiction though, isn't it?
Porn's an addiction.
Yeah, but not like
porn's
a chemical
wild
addiction.
It is. It's coming.
Actually, yeah, it's true.
It's
like
coming.
An endorphin rush.
Yeah, you're definitely addicted to coming. Who isn't?
Dopamine. Yeah.
Yeah, if you gave a rat an orgasm button, it would press it until it died. It would not eat. And we're not that much different. That's why we study with them.
It literally just fucking until it passes out from exhaustion.
Yeah, dude. Every time it gets like a breath of life, it hits the button again. And it just nuts again and passes back out until there's nothing left of it.
That sounds like a nice existence.
It's kind of honestly, yeah. Can you imagine if that was the lab rat life you got?
Yeah, for
not
real.
Maze runner, not brain surgery tester.
Yeah,
the guy who gets to hit the nut button over and over again.
Test subject.
Yeah. There's so many shitty lives for lab rats.
Yeah.
But the one that gets to just hit the orgasm button and see what happens.
I'd
lay on it too. I'd be rolling around on it. I'd be chewing on it and fucking it.
You'd be chewing on it?
I would have all 4 of my paws on 4 corners of the button, and I would like be gnawing on the button while thrusting to press it.
Yeah, just to see if we can get a combination of movements to see if it changes anything.
Yeah. Like while I've got a grip on it, like I'm just fucking pounding on it. And every time I thrust it hard enough and I kind of like push my legs down like when you're trying to like move against an elevator.
Oh yeah. You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I push my legs down as I thrust and I got a good bite on that bitch and it fucking boom, just explosion.
And then you immediately just fucking pass out.
Yeah.
You just fall over dead damn near.
Yeah, you just do like 100 push-ups on it and die. There's no nutrients left in your body.
My God.
You're physically smaller.
Trying to imagine a rat doing that is terrifying and also kind of hilarious.
Yeah. Just laying down next to it, banging its fucking head on it sideways. Bang his head on it, shake a little, bang its fucking head on it again.
Yeah, it's like I feel like in any other context it's like tormented,
Yeah.
But like the fact that it's an orgasm button is just hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't understand. Don't take it away. I want it. I need it.
They put a big piece of cheese in the pen. It spits at it.
It's just like, don't give
it.
that shit.
Yeah.
Give me a bigger button, motherfucker.
This rat hasn't eaten in 3 days. They're not supposed to really survive this long. He really likes that button.
Yeah. Could you imagine if OnlyFans got into experimental fucking sex and porn,
Oh wow,
like that kind of shit,
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be way more
That'd be
money.
fucking weird, dude. But also like,
bro, can you imagine?
That'd be weird, no matter what.
Imagine if it was $1 per video to watch porn, right? Like I said before, and 30% of that goes towards science.
Oh,
that's 1.2 billion people a day are probably spending $1.
Yeah.
Right? And then that gets divvied up amongst its respective countries.
Yeah.
U.S. probably taking a pretty good chunk. And I would imagine China.
Mm-hmm.
Because why not?
Yeah.
There's so many of them. India too, I guess. They're probably, just jerking off like crazy down there.
Yeah, those guys are always fucking horny over there.
Yeah, fucking wiping it up with a napkin, throwing it into that fucking river where they bury their dead and drink their water.
Damn.
What's that river called? That shit's real. That's not my fault.
No, I know what you mean, but I
fucking-
don't remember what that river is called.
I saw a video of it where like there was like a dead body floating.
Yeah.
There was trash.
Yeah.
Somebody was gathering water to fucking make a soup. Somebody was bathing. Somebody was throwing up. Somebody was throwing out their
It's a huge river
piss bucket.
too. It's like a big fucking river.
And they're all within like a few feet of each other. That's not my fault. That's why the Delta variant
Because
exists.
there's too many of them over there, bro.
It is
There's way too many of them
Yeah,
over
because
there.
the mountains keep them all kind of enclosed.
Yeah, they can't
And then
go anywhere.
Pakistan's on the other side, and they're just like, no,
Yeah, fuck that.
no, we'll kill you. And
Yeah.
then the Indians like, we'll fucking kill you, and it's a draw.
Yeah, because none of them can get over the fucking mountain.
Yeah, so they're both just kind of like flipping each other off from the other side. Well,
Humans are fucked, bro.
Yep.
Like
Just
we're so twisted in so many ways.
Yep. And you know who's gotten worse? The fucking executives over at Onlyfans.
Yeah, some terrible decisions were made, but
Yep.
What
Hey.
can you do?
I'm just happy that we got to the episode right after the news was released.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we didn't make asses of ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you, OnlyFans. They're like, oh, we're sorry.
Yeah.
You know, still fuck you, OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, no, you
Figure out your
fucked up,
shit, bro.
OnlyFans. You definitely fucked up.
You could have just sold to Pornhub
Yeah.
and made so much money.
None of
Make a
this
new
would happen.
platform if you were upset about where this one was
Yeah,
going.
You'd literally be fine. Dumbasses. Well, that's episode 206, folks. Oh, you know what? Real quick, we got
207? 206.
that was 206.
Aha.
Hold on, real quick. We do have a message from Bubbles here,
Bubbles.
and I did want to know what it was.
Boy wonder.
Oh yeah, I bet it's gonna be fucking all sorts. I swear to God, if we go over an hour 30, and oh no, this is 13 seconds long. We might have to edit this.
We're definitely over an hour 30 right now.
Hello.
Son of a bitch.
Go fuck yourself. Bitch.
Yeah. Oh, what?
I think he said cunt at the end.
Kunk
Well, that was worth it. All right, good job, Bubbles. That's
is your fame, your moment of fame. there.
Yep, you did it, buddy. All right, folks, we'll see you next week. Go follow the fucking City Bumpkins podcast. Peace.
Bye.